Hi everyone, welcome on the platform. I'm very happy to be joining with you today, and I wanted to bring on a topic that I feel is relevant in everyone's life. Now, I just want you to know that every time I do come on, everything is very free flow, and I do bring topics that I feel that I'm going through myself. So the material that I share is actually really real. The questions that I pose and the answers that I share, and it's not to say that there's always an answer to everything, right? So my way of teaching is actually to help you to connect with your own body into your own truth, which is only one. So you can't have truth can't have many different facets. And the idea of the people that do follow this platform is all it's kind of like a roadmap to help you to connect with your own truth and to help you to connect with what what lays true in your heart, right? So I'm not the typical coach that will give you strategies that you need to follow in order to get to one destination. So a lot of people that do follow me and that do get a lot of benefits from my teachings are the ones that tend to be in a very low vibrational state, or that want to achieve more in their life. They want to have like richer lives, more fulfilled relationships. And that doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect, by no means, because there's no magic pill to things and answers to situations and relationships. It's a matter of allowing ourselves to be open. And what we do in the process is we allow ourselves to we go through this purging process that can be quite ugly and nasty as well. And then it's within that purging, and whilst we are going through the storm, that's when we discover facets of our soul. That's when other people around us, we allow other people around us to actually see facets of our soul as well through our own vulnerability. So being on the journey of self-discovery and being self-aware has very much, if not everything, to do with awareness, but also allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. It's within allowing yourself to be vulnerable, you are accessing layers of your truth, right? So the question today is, are you in the cycle? Oh, that's a bit, I think I wrote quite a bit here. I'm on my business page here, so I know that I'll be sharing to people from all walks of life. So just getting straight into this, are you in the cycle of being separate from who you want to be and what you want? Everything you desire is in your reach. Now, a lot of us that have been on this journey, we've done inner healing, we've been on this road for how many years, right? And the one thing, to put it very simply, without overwhelming people, right? What happens is that whilst you are on this journey of self-discovery, self-healing, a lot of people still operate from a space of lack, as if you are needing to desperately find something that is outside of yourself, that you need to fulfill your soul, that you need to fulfill whatever is kind of lacking or missing inside of you. But one thing I want to bring to you today, this very valuable piece of information, of wisdom more than information, is that everything that you are actually seeking is already within you. No matter what you are seeking for, whether it's that dream job, whether it's that perfect health, or weight loss, and it may sound like pretty superficial things, right? But obviously whatever happens in our external world can be a reflection of what we are manifesting, is actually a reflection of what we allow ourselves to either create or to have or not. So everything, I always say, everything that we are seeking is already in us. We have a universe inside of us, and it's a matter of how willing we are to allow those facets to actually open up and to allow those channels to kind of work through us. So imagine, I see it very much, for those of you that have been following me for a while, I always share that I'm very visual. So I always tend to have, I create a vision, like a vision in front of me, and that helps me to navigate through whatever resistance tends to come up. So imagine like a river. I imagine myself, I imagine this river, like I'm looking at a river, and how the water just kind of flows through freely, and it runs through around the rocks and down the mountain or down the hill. So in its own flow, right? So it doesn't need anybody to tell it how fast it needs to run, how fast it needs to flow, how slow it needs to flow. It just flows. And whenever there's restriction within yourself, you're not allowing the river to flow through, which is really doing its natural duty, right? Just flowing. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, for the people, just briefly, before I move forward or more deeper into today's topic, there's people that know me, there's people that haven't followed me for a while, there's people that haven't, and people that have. So my name is Vanessa Mariano, and I'm a divine healing activator. I'm a vibrational language, and passion coach. What does that mean? That means that I help you to reach a high vibration. And it is essential for us, no matter what we are wanting to manifest in our life, no matter how much we are wanting to create deep, fulfilling, intimate connections with people, with our relationship, with our family, with our friends, with co-workers, or relationship with anything that surrounds us in our life, it is important that we are operating from a space of a high vibrational state, which is the vibration of love. I call it the vibration of love because when you are in a vibrational state of love, things flow. Imagine that river is flowing freely, so you're not obstructing, you're not obscuring its natural divine duty, right? So language is, for the people that know me, so linguistics is my background. I'm very passionate about language and about, culture, and I bring a lot of yogic and tantric philosophies into my teachings as well. So I believe that language is a vibration, like sound, like sounds, like frequencies. All of that helps to increase, either raise our vibration, or it helps our vibration to be low. So what happens is that when we are stuck in our life, it's because we're operating from a low vibrational state. And what happens is that in order to get yourself out of the rut, I help you to bring consciousness to the kind of language that you're actually adopting in your everyday life, and it kind of works in conjunction with raising your frequency. So you use language to raise your frequency, or you could raise your frequency to then adjust your language. And it's important that you do get the support, or this mirror effect, right? So that you know what you are doing and what you're not doing, right? Correctly, or whatever you're not doing, benefiting yourself, right? So language is one aspect, which is crucial. And I do also use a lot of Italian mantras that have come through breakthroughs, and I found very powerful to embody certain phrases, certain mantras that I chant myself, and I share loving unconditionally with people in my group and my page, without charge. And also movement. Now, movement is everything that encompasses action, non-action, which is very much kind of gained in a timeless state, which means taking in consideration that time is non-linear, that time is circular, right? So which means the past and the future merges into the now, right? So, and from this I connect the concept of how everything that you are wanting to be, you can embrace in the moment. So this is what my teachings are all about. Movement has to do with frequencies, sounds, movements through dance, connection with your body through breath, how we can really master certain movements, and take certain breaths and bring certain breaths through in certain areas of our body to stimulate, or to let go, or to let go of stored energy, right, of emotions that have been there for a long time, right, that we haven't really allowed ourselves to release. So with movement, it's all about, it allows you, it cooperates with you to cleanse your vessel, but also to reactivate and to nourish your vessel. Okay, so that's just like a little briefing that I wanted to share with you, because I know that a lot of people are not quite clear about what it is that I do. So that's everything that I bring into my teaching. So it's all in order to bring your body or your state into a high vibrational state, so that you live a most fulfilled, radiant life. So from that, you will notice your health improve, your wellness improve, your health, your relationships improve, and your intimacy as well, right? So when you improve your vibrational state, then everything that you are in contact with, and when you bring awareness to everything that you are in connection with, you will notice how you become the influencer in your life. You become the influencer, you become the creator of your life. So you will operate from a state where everything, where you are you're the engine. Okay. So how are you tuning into your body? Our body's our map. It nudges us as to what patterns need revision. And this is why when you go through, because I work one-on-one, and I am also putting together a program that I want to share, that I want to involve people to take on. So when you are aware of the language that you're using, when you are using movement for your breath and for your body to release, to activate, to nurture, you will then develop, you're developing this relationship of communication, trust between you and your body, that allows you to access your internal presence, your intuition, that internal voice, which is your guidance. So our guidance is our voice. It's not a coach that tells you what you need to do, or gives you 3 or 4, 5 steps to reach whatever destination you're wanting to reach. The truest guidance is your own guidance. So what I can do is help you to get everything out of the way, to strengthen and to weaken whatever muscles we need to strengthen or weaken, in order to allow this voice to come through, this inner guidance, this internal presence to come through and to guide you, because we are all very unique. We don't have to copy someone else's work. We don't have to copy someone else's image to be valuable, to feel valuable. We have our own gifts. We are all magnificent in our own unique way. And what I want to help you to do is to connect to your inner brilliance, so that you don't have to feel any less when you see somebody succeeding in life. You can actually celebrate them the same way that you are celebrating yourself. Okay? So if you get stuck in blame mode and you weigh more on the faults than the wins, then that means that you are not really supporting your body from going through the changes that it needs to go through. I'm getting all these messages come through. Sorry if it's a bit loud. So if you find yourself, because I went through this, I did a video on this months ago, and I'm putting them together and creating this program because I found that every single step that I took really helped me to unleash and to let go and to bring more awareness on patterns that was not serving me. So what happens is that if you do find yourself nudging at somebody, blaming someone for reacting, remember that you are actually having a mirror in front of yourself. So whatever you are rejecting or not accepting, it's actually something that it's a pattern that maybe you might be operating in yourself that you find hard to accept. Therefore, it's easier to use that harsh judgment. But what that is doing is it's actually not allowing that free flow of love, of energy, or frequency to move through from you to the other person. And in this, I want to bring the concept of us being one. And Marianne Williamson and the Course in Miracles, talks a lot about, being one. We are one consciousness. So if we are very in tune and aware, there's so much that we can learn about our own selves just by seeing the way that other people operate in front of us. It's not that we're taking responsibility for other people's actions. If anything, it's more about, seeing where resistance comes up. So if we're blaming someone, if we're judging them for doing something, for acting in a certain way, I would invite you to stop and to really start asking yourself questions. as to what part in me am I separating from, am I not accepting? What part in this person is ticking me off so much that I'm not accepting within myself. So in that sense, what happens around us, we can use that also as a way of opening up little windows to, or facets to our soul that we haven't maybe given ourselves a chance to kind of work through, right? So that's what causes friction. I know this topic is a bit, I don't know if it's heavy, but it's quite deep. So I wanted to come on live today just to remind you that everything that you are seeking is within yourself, because we are the universe and we are one consciousness. We are not separate from race, color, the economic system, the political system that always came from above. It's always been like a dictatorship, right? It's always influenced, manipulated humanity and society in a way so that we could be separate. And this is what happened with, the greatest colonizers in our time, where, they would always put the civilizations against, or the tribes, one against each other, so that then it was easier for them to come in and to play their part and to take over, right? That's where power comes in. But if we are smart, the whole point of raising your consciousness is for you to raise your consciousness to not be a prey for people that lack consciousness and that want to take over, that are greedy, that want to take over through power, which is a negative force. Anything that works against the benefit for the greater good, is a dark force. And when you, like I was saying, when you do raise your consciousness, you become aware of this, because your wisdom, your guidance speaks through you, and you don't allow these forces to kind of take over and to shape your reality. So, and we all slip. It's just a matter of, remember, it doesn't mean that we're going to be perfect. It just means that we bring awareness even when we are acting in a certain way. But we do, we can always choose to observe it and to respond differently next time, right? And to not condemn the people that do make mistakes as well. So how are you tuning into your body? Remember that my work encompasses everything to do with connecting with your body, using movement, using language, everything that has to do with raising your vibration. I'm all about the love frequency and operating in a timeless state, which is really being in the now. It's only when you are in the now that you can then embrace everything that you are and everything that you want, that you are wanting to be. And you can be your own detective by noticing how resistance shows up in your life, and be your own investigator. This is not about me dictating to you what you need to do, or that there's only one way to do things. This is just me sharing tools with you that you can apply on your own self, and be your own master. Like, you can just be your own master and be aware with what's going on, and tweak things so that you can allow yourself to live in a life that is fuller, that is richer, and where your health doesn't have to deteriorate, right? Because when you bring up so much and too much resistance, when you are building too many walls around you, you are not allowing this beautiful life force to work through you, to work with you, right? We are social beings. We are here to work together, to support each other, to support ourselves, and to allow others to support us. And the reason why I bring this in is because the easiest thing for me to do, and I know that it's relevant for a lot of other people, is to isolate yourself and to segregate yourself, or to judge someone, to think, oh, like that's not what I do. And always bringing these judgments that are causing separation. So I want to invite you today to allow yourself to be uncomfortable, even when this resistance does come up, and to see how you can still be part of the whole, even though, and step, even allowing or accepting everything to be as is, but just having this level of awareness that can then cause a change, that can cause a transformation. But remember, in order to transform, and I say this, and I've repeated this in my page many times, is we need engagement, people. Like, we need to actually engage with people. We need to engage with our enemy. We need to engage with the forces that are not serving us as well. I'm not saying to go out and looking for trouble, but rather than running away and building resistance, why not confront certain things? And only you know how that is done, because sometimes we need to retract. Sometimes it's good to like take a step back, and other times it's good to take a step, to stand up and to face whatever we need to face through communication. So, this is another part of my work is, expression, finding your own truth, finding your own expression. When you connect, when you bring yourself at a high vibration, when you allow your body to do what it needs to do to release and to recharge, when you are more conscious of the language that you are using, and the language that you are using that is not serving you, you will find that you will stand more in your truth and you will be the pure expression of yourself. So when you are expressing, standing in your truth, time collapses, right? You're very much in the now. And you are very much in control of yourself. You don't allow other people to control you. I've had my left eye twitch for the last week for some reason. They normally say that it's your third eye opening up even more, but it feels weird. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, so communication, right? So communication, remember, the state that we're in, the frequency that we're in, that affects our communication. That affects the dialogue that we have with ourselves, our inner dialogue, but it also affects the communication, the way that we are relating to other people, whether it's a stranger, whether it's a person that we love, whether it's with our clients, whether it's with our children, with our partners, with a stranger. So communication is a reflection of, where we are at. And excuse me. And I realized that, oh my God, like communication can be the greatest barrier to enriching your life and your relationships. But it can also be the biggest bridge, the most important bridge to bring you closer, to connect us deeper, right? And communication. And I'll probably do another video, maybe tomorrow or another day, on communication. But this is something that I find really, really important and that a lot of people struggle with. And I've struggled with this myself as well, because we're not exactly taught, from when we're really young, how to be an effective communicator. All I learned when I was young was just to just blurt out, like to just erupt my thoughts, my feelings, because I was never given the space to really speak my mind. If I did it very abruptly because it wasn't accepted. So it was my way of standing my ground. And I know that a lot of people go through the same thing. And then what happens is that you develop a pattern where you are unable to communicate your truth, or if you do, you do it, either too abruptly or you become too submissive, right? And you don't speak up at all, and you don't want to be seen. So I want to help you to really shine your light. And the reason why I do have these lives is to open space for communication, to have conversations that we don't normally have every day with our family or with people, because simply these people suffer from too much anxiety. They don't hold space for themselves, and how can they hold space for you? Anxiety is a really big barrier that stops communication to flow, and also understanding communication, understanding how to connect with people. So I will definitely do lives on this in the future. But remember that these lives are great to open communication, to plant seeds. If you find that somebody can benefit from this video, I do encourage you to share it all the time, no matter what video it is. And also the interviews that I've started to have, the 3 interviews that I had with Kay, it just allows people to become aware of what is unseen in the metaphysical world, right? So it allows you to kind of ponder or to open up to what is out there that is not seen with the eye, right? But it's a level of wisdom, spiritual wisdom, that it's important for us to open our consciousness to. And it's nothing woo-woo, it's actually science. This is what we are being shown, that energy is science, spirituality is science, sound vibration, all of this is science. It's not separate. A lot of people have, we've been made to believe that science is, you're either, have scientific approaches to growth, or you have a spiritual approach to growth, but spirituality is really science in one. So I've got a friend coming, Josh is going to be coming. I'm going to be interviewing him, not this Thursday. So this Thursday, we're still going to have an interview with Kay. We're going to be bringing a new topic in that I will be sharing in my group and sharing on the business page, what it's going to be on. And then I'll be sharing it on YouTube. So you can forward it to friends, family, people that you think that can benefit from the videos. And the following Thursday, so remembering that the interviews that I'm going to be having, it's always going to be on Thursdays at 11 a.m. The next Thursday, I'm going to be bringing Josh. He's going to be sharing a little bit of his life journey and his trials and errors and tribulations about what it was like for him to be very much connected as a male to his feminine energy, and what it caused him to mix in society with having with having a strong feminine energy activated, and then how that was how society kind of caused him to separate from the feminine energy, because as we know now, both men and women hold dual feminine energies and dual masculine energies, right? So Josh is going to be coming on. I'll be asking him a few questions so that he can reveal more truths, and it helps. And having these open conversations also help people to relate to people that have that are open to sharing their stories, so that you don't feel left out, so you don't feel like it's just you kind of going through these upheavals, but it's actually very normal, very natural, and that there's a reason behind it's just really opening us up to a consciousness that is not normally seen, allowed, discussed, shared. Okay, so thank you for being with us today. I'm going to send you a lot of love, and I'm going to be coming on with more to share. Have a fabulous day.